Hello, everybody, and welcome to Max Tutorials. We are going to talk about compound inequalities. We're going to solve and we're going to graph them. This is version B. I have a version A, and I also have a video where I explain all this on a whiteboard. I hope that helps you. You can find all of this on maxtutorials.com, and I have a whole algebra sequence there. And boy, I tell you, if you like and subscribe this stuff, it'll really help me out, and it'll get me some more videos up on here and give me some time to do all that. Okay, so how do we solve these? Well, on number one, I'm just going to cross this part out right now to start. Okay, if it just said x plus 5, what would you do? You would subtract 5 from either side, wouldn't you? Of course you would. But on this one, we have all this extra stuff. So what do? Think of this as an equation with three sides. Whatever you do on one side, you have to do on all three. Okay, so this would become a negative 4 is less than x, which is less than 8. Whenever you have an x in between two less than signs, that means you're going to go in between. So now right here, I'm going to draw a negative 4, and here I'm going to draw an 8. Now I notice there are no equal signs on these inequalities, so these are both going to get holes, meaning they don't include the negative 4 and the 8, and the answer is in between. Okay, and that's how we do that. Let's do number 2. Okay, so now this is just a two-step equation. I'm going to just solve the one on the left, and I'm just going to ignore the one on the right and just worry about this one. Okay, chapter 2, I go through all this, so if you need some help on solving, you can find it there. But that's one of the answers. Okay, now, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's even graph this one. Well, remember, we're graphing up there. This is getting a little bit tight. Let me erase that so I have room to do that problem. So I want to find a 6, so I'm just going to call that 6, right? That needs to be a dot, which that's going to erase. So let me draw a dot and then a line. And I know my answer, x's have to be greater, so I'm going to want to go that way with it, right? Okay, now let's do the other one. I'm going to, sorry about that. I'm in the wrong buttons. There we go. I'm going to add 4 to both sides, which is going to give me 2x is less than or equal to 16. If I divide each side by 2, x is less than or equal to 8. So now right here, I'm going to have an 8, and it's got the equal sign. So I'm going to want that to be a dot at 8, and that's going to go that way. So now if you take a look at it, when the 8s get smaller and the 6 gets bigger, that's when you have the answer, and that's the in-between. All right? Let's go on to number 3. Now remember, if you do something to 1, that's 3 times x, so we're going to divide. You're going to do it to all 3. So I'm going to get a 3 is less than x, which is less than 10. Now this one, there's no equal sign, so these will be holes. So I'm going to have a 3, and I'm going to have a 10, a hole, and a hole. And when the x is in between, that's when we shade the in between. Okay? Let's go on to number 4. I'm going to solve 2 different problems now. I'm going to start on this first one. I'm going to go minus 8, and I'm going to end up with x is less than or equal to 8. Done. Let's just do the other one right now. I'm doing this a little different than I did the other one. I didn't graph it right away. Now this one, add a line, change the sign, is greater or equal to negative 6. Well, let's go left and right. Let's start at negative 6. Boom, there's a negative 6. And I know that it's got to be a solid dot, which I'm going to lose because it thinks I'm erasing it. So there's my solid dot at negative 6. Okay, and I know x's are greater, so they're going to go that way. I'm not going to put it on the graph just yet, and I'll show you why. Now, x's are less than or equal to 8, so I'm going to draw an 8, and I'm going to draw that as a dot, which is going to erase, because that's how this works. I got to find a better way to do this. And then x's are less than or equal, which is that way. Well, if the 8s go that way, and this negative 6 goes this way, it means they're going to cross right in between. So that means any number I plug in for x is going to be greater than negative 6, and it's also going to be less than or equal to 8. All right, let's go on to number 5. I'm going to add 1. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to all 3. So they go away, and I'm left with 4. It is less than or equal to x, which is less than 12. Pretty easy, right? So now let's see. I'm going to want a dot at 4, and I'm going to want a hole at 12. Okay, and I know that the x is in between them because of the way it's set up. So I'm just going to shade in between. Number 6. On this one, I'm going to multiply each side by 4. And I'm going to get x is greater than 4. And on the other one, I'm going to multiply each side by 4. Die. X is less than 24. That's a multiplication right there. Okay. All right, so my numbers are 4 and 24, and they're both going to be wholes because there's no equal sign. So I'm going to do a 4 with a hole, and I'm going to do a 24 with a hole. And I know that my x's have to be greater than 4, and they have to be less than 24. So that means that they're going to combine right here in the center. All right? Number 7, let's keep plugging away. I got 10 of these right here. Okay, so on this one, if I divide him by 5, I got to divide him by 5, and I've got to divide him by 5. And I'm left with 3 is less than x is less than 8. Okay, well, here's a 3, and there's an 8. They're both going to be wholes because there's no equal sign. And boom, there we go. Okay, they're right in between. Let's go to number 8. Now, this one is a two-step problem inside. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And I'm going to get 2 is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than 16. Now, once I divide all of these, I'm going to get 1 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 8. So I'm going to have a dot at the 1, and I'm going to have a hole at the 8. So I'm going to have a dot at the 1, and I'm going to have a hole at the 8. The x is in between, so I shade the in between. Let's go on to number 9. So again, a two-step problem. I'm going to subtract 1 from all three sides, and I'm going to get 5 is less than x over 2, which is less than or equal to 10. Now, I need to multiply all three of these by 2, and that'll give me a 10 is less than, these 2's die, x, which is less than or equal to 20. So it's going to be in between 10 and 20. So if I take a look, any of these have dots? Well, the 10 will have a hole, and the 20 will have a dot. Okay, so the 10 will have a hole, and the 20 will have a dot. And because the x is in between, it'll look like a in-betweener. Boom. Okay, now let's go on to number 10, our very last one. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Boom, die. X is greater than 12. Well, now I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And x is less than positive 2. Okay, well, let's graph them. These are both going to be holes. They're not going to be dots. So I'm going to start on the one on the left. X is greater than 12. Well, let me give a 12 right here. A hole. Which side is greater? Greater is that way. Now let's go on to the other one. X is less than 2. Okay, well, give me a 2. And it's got to be a hole. And it's less than. So it's going to have to go that way. So the answer is the extremes. So the only answers that wouldn't be right are anything in between 2 and 12. Those would give you false answers. All right, guys, that's how we do compound inequalities. You've had a shot at version A. Here's version B. If you want some more help, I'm happy to give it to you. That'll be on version C. If not, I'll see you on the next one. You guys are doing great. Keep going with that algebra. Take care.